Hi, I'm the Moorlander and this is Moorlander EDC. Now this is a piece of content that comes off the back of a review of what I did on the Tramontane jacket from Helikon-Tex. Helikon-Tex have another similar jacket, stroke, anorak, stroke, feel shirt that is very similar to this, and I happen to have one of those too. So what we're going to have a look at today is the similarities and the differences between the Helikon-Tex Tramontane jacket and the Helikon-Tex Windrunner. They call it a shirt, wind shirt, but let's just call it the Windrunner jacket. I tell you what, let's just go Tramontane and Windrunner from now on to make it easier. Now I suppose before we start it's probably important to mention, so I am a UK European size large and both of these are a UK European size large as well. They're both available in a large selection of colours and all of the usual sizes that you'd expect for each of these. The materials that these are made from, these are both made from the same nylon material, which is incredibly light. These can both pack away to very small kind of pouches. With the Tramontane, which I'm guessing I'm kind of spoiling here, but the Tramontane has a pocket within it which you can then stuff this into. The Windrunner does exactly the same, which has a pocket in here as well, so you don't need an extra stuffed sack to be able to put these into. These are both great if you have a light kind of setup and you want something. One, to help to keep off light showers. Both of these are DWR coated, so a light shower, this will help to keep you dry. The wind stopper material that these are both made from as well is great, especially if you're out and it's a cold day, there's a bit of a breeze and you want to put on a light jacket that will help to stop some of that wind. Personally for me, I use these whilst I'm out, especially in the summer. I use these just to keep that wind off me, which will help to regulate my temperature a little bit. The one thing that I use both of these for the most is whilst out running. So I run 4 times a week, especially through the winter. If again there's a bit of wind, a bit of rain, then having these on over whatever I'm wearing that day really does help. Weight wise, the Tramontane is the lighter of the two, mainly because this is just this shell. You know, there's nothing more to this. I think it did say it was about 120 grams. The Windrunner does come in at about 100 grams more. It's about 220 grams. There is the shell on this, but it does have a little bit more as far as storage and pockets are concerned. And where those pockets are lined, they have a mesh lining, which again, that's what just adds to the weight ever so slightly with this. But as far as 2 packable jackets that you can pack within each other, within themselves, sorry, and then throw into a bag for a day's adventuring, they're both incredibly light. Now first up we have the Helikon-Tex Tramontane jacket. Just to be clear as well, so as it currently stands, you know, I have just a cotton t-shirt on and I have a flannel shirt underneath this. I can still perfectly, in fact, it's always weird when you're trying to do stuff on film, but I can still zip this up and there's still plenty of room for me to be able to move around. If I wanted to put a bigger layer on underneath here, then I definitely have to go for the larger size. As I mentioned, I'm a European large and this is a European large. But with 2 cotton layers underneath here, it's still got plenty of room. So hopefully you'll have noticed this is a full zip. It's not a double zip either, so you can't zip it up and then kind of zip it up from the bottom again. If that's something that's important to you, then maybe this might not be the jacket for you. However, as you know, it's just got that one zip. As far as storage on this, it is very sparse. So there are no pockets here, there's no pockets anywhere kind of round here, which I think is a massive shame. If they were going to make a Tramontane version 2, I'd certainly like to see some pockets. There is a seam that goes down just here, so they could possibly integrate one into here, but I think the main selling point with the Tramontane is the fact that it is so light. It's only 120 grams. It's on, you're out, you're doing whatever you need to do. You can take it off, screw it back into something that's similar to a kind of a tennis ball, put it into your bag, and you're off and away. Now that's not to say that there isn't any storage on here, as there is a chest pocket just here. So if you're out like I do when I go for a run and I have this on, then I'll keep my car key in here. It's not the largest, so it's in its full length now, so it goes in maybe about 4 inches. When it's in there, I can span my hand out, so it will go there, which again is roughly about 7 or 8 inches. So there's a bit of room. But if you've got a large bulky wallet, maybe you're probably not going to be able to fit that in there. In fact, let's just put my wallet in here. So I'm still carrying the Fox wallet that we did some content on the other day, but it'll fit perfectly in there. Now this is the pocket, so if you are taking this off and you're wanting to stuff it within itself so that you can put it away, so this is the pocket that it goes into, and in fact on the inside here there's some washing instructions, and it also kind of says Tramontane and all of the nice sexy information about it. But this does have a double zip, so there is a zipper pull on the outside and a zipper pull on the inside, so that when you've got everything kind of forced it in and then turned it out onto itself, then that's where it'll zip up. But getting back to how small you can get this with those kind of dimensions on how small the pocket is, this will all perfectly fit within there, so that you can then just kind of stow it away into a bag if needs be. Last couple of little things, because these are definitely differences in the fact that on the cuff on this, I actually prefer the cuff on the Tramontane. So through the inside here, this is where all of your elastic is, and then on the outside there's no elastic on this part. That means that if you are trying to do some sort of orienteering, or you're trying to keep your watch close to you at all times, where this normally would have kind of an elasticated scrunch on this, the single ply material here fits perfectly underneath your watch, which is really nice. You don't get that weird kind of just annoyance that you get when the material's behind your watch, which is great. You do have a hood with this, a very thin hood. There is a little what do you call this on the front of my words have escaped me, but there is a brim there on the front, and you can zip this up. Now as far as adjustability through the hood is concerned, little to none. It's a very small hood and fits very snugly onto your head. There is one at the back here, so you can just pull it in a little bit tighter, but as far as adjustments around your chin or around your neck with the Tramontane, there's not as much as there are with some other jackets. Now next up we have the Windrunner wind shirt. I believe the full title for this is constructed from the same really nice light nylon. This one is a little bit heavier, which again we'll have a look at in a second, available in lots of different colours. The Tramontane that I have is in the DNC camo, and this is in this really nice kind of retro tiger stripe, which is having a revival, and I'm so glad that it's having a revival, because it's sick, let's face it. Now, getting through to some of the differences, hopefully you'll have noticed immediately that this is more of an anorak. So it is a 1/3 zip, which comes down for me just kind of in that midpoint in the sternum, roughly between my nipples, where, yeah, so just kind of, yeah, it comes to there anyway. So zip on the front, which will zip all the way up. In fact, so let's just get this out of the way. Not difficulty with this, it certainly isn't a difficulty, but I think you'll find that with the Windrunner, because the material is a lot lighter, it just takes a little bit more jostling to get the zip up. A lot of other soft shell jackets, even though they're a softer shell, they still have a little rigidity in them. With both of these jackets, there's absolutely no rigidity whatsoever in the material because it is so light. So I do find with the Windrunner more so than the Tramontane, that getting the zip just to make sure, you know, all of your bits are tucked in, your beard's not in there, and it's a little bit more of a faff. Now, in the grand scheme of things, it's not a huge faff, but there you go. So, zip goes all the way up. Now with this one, you will notice, hopefully, so actually let's skip a bit and get to the hood. So the hood on this is a very thin, light hood. But when I zip this up, this hood does have a little bit more adjustment on there. So again, at the back of the head, you have your pull on there so that you can pull it a little bit tighter. It does have a small brim on here as well, but then on the inside, so if you want to be able to then get this kind of to pull down, you've got some ones on the side here, which the extra bits for these are, where have they gone? Are here on the inside. So there's a little bit more kind of management as far as these little pulls and things, especially this bit when I'm zipping it up. But if you're wanting to get a more kind of perfect, snugger fit to your head, especially if you're concerned about getting wind in there, then you get a little bit more with the Windrunner. Because this is an anorak rather than the full zip that you get with the others, it allows a little bit more as far as the storage is concerned. Now, when I first got this, I assumed that it would have a Joey style zip. You can open this and then kind of get your hands in to be able to get things. But instead, it has a pass-through pocket. If I zip both of these down, so the zippers on here have these has a rain hood that goes over the zips just kind of keep extra or additional water or wind out from there. You do find though because the material is a little bit lighter and less rigid, that you just have to make sure that you hold that rain hood so that you don't get it caught in with the zips. Both of these jackets use YKK zippers, which are very smooth, but again, because there is less rigidity in this, I do find that I have to hold the bottom to pull it up or hold the top to zip it down, because if I try and pull it, it'll just kind of lift the jacket because it's so very light. So on the inside here, you have a full pocket that does go all the way through. So if you want to put something into here, you can do, whether that's gloves, whether that's a map, whatever it is that you're doing, you can store more in here. When it is in here, and I love the fact that this has this, so on the inside, hopefully you can see, there's an additional piece of material here. So if I want to put, well, I've got my car keys, no I haven't got my car keys, but I have got my lens cover. So if I want to put something in here and stop it from bouncing around, I can put it in and then into the small pocket on the inside. Every single jacket that has large pockets, if you're not doing this, start doing this. It's so much easier. I wish all pockets did this and had just that extra little pocket in there. You always know where it is, where you're going to get to. I can fit my wallet in here, I can fit my keys in here, I can fit most kind of EDC items. Unfortunately, it's not large enough for me to be able to fit my mobile phone in. If it could do, that would be great, but I appreciate it probably. Shut up. It just fit in. I thought it didn't fit in. There you go. That's what happens when you do things live on camera. It does fit in. So I'll take back everything I was just about to say. So I can put my motor. Is it the fact that there's just a different one on this side? I'm sure I tried it before. No, there you go. I'm an idiot. It fits in both sides. So that's great. It's got pockets that you can put things both in. Now let's zip these pockets up and carry on before I embarrass myself any further. But yes, so these zip up again. You know, you just have to make sure that you hold each of the bottom bits. Now I didn't mention this at the beginning, so again, so this is a large, I'm a European large, this is a European size large, and I'm wearing exactly the same as I was before, so I just have a t-shirt and have a flannel shirt underneath in here, and there's still plenty of room. What I will say is that the Windrunner does fit a little bit larger than the Tramontane. I think that's purely because the Tramontane, you can put it on as you would do with any jacket, with your arms into it, pull it round and zip it up. This is a 100% over the head garment. You have to take this off over your head. So I think Helikon-Tex have given you a little bit more room in here to allow you to be able to take it on and off easier. That means that if I did want to put maybe an extra hoodie on underneath this, then I could do, because of the extra room that I'm allowed, that you get with this jacket. Now, the last little bits of difference, which you kind of assume with an over-the-head jacket or anorak like this, is the fact that you also have some adjustments down here at the bottom. So when I go for a run in the mornings, I'll put my keys in. I'll put my keys in my little pocket. I'll take my mobile phone with me because I now know I can do that. And then, yes, just cinch this up just a little bit. It holds it just underneath my butt, which is great. So any water, if it is that it has been raining, will just kind of bead off and it will go down a little bit as well. Now, as previously mentioned, the Windrunner is roughly 100 grams more than the Tramontane. Tramontane's about 120 grams, the Windrunner is about 220 grams. And that is this additional material on the inside here. So you have that large pocket across the front, which you can stow away items, which you've now learned you can put your mobile phone in. So it uses this really nice mesh at the back, but this mesh is that rough 100 extra grams that you get, which is the difference between the two. And on the side here, so on the Tramontane you use the breast pocket, and that's what you scrunch it all into. With the Windrunner on the side, there is an additional mesh pocket here. So when you take this off, this is the small pocket, which I might as well do this now whilst we're doing this, because it really doesn't take long to do. But hopefully, as you can see, this is what this all stuffs into. Probably should have fast forwarded this bit. And then when it's in, it also has, like you get with money sacks when you take stuff to the bank, it also has that extra little bit. I've not done it perfectly, but you know, it's for illustrative purposes only. It has that little bit that you can then hook over the top to stop it from kind of spilling out. So there you have it, the Tramontane and the Windrunner jackets from Helikon-Tex. Both very similar, but also completely different jackets in the fact that this one is more of a traditional full zip jacket and this one is more of an overhead anorak. But I will say that both of these are absolutely amazing. I haven't touched on this as far as any sort of thermal properties, and that is the fact that there are no thermal properties with these because they are so thin. However, that is not to say that they will not keep you warm. With a light breeze, just being able to have something that will take that breeze away from you is great. Also, if I have a thicker jacket, I'll often wear one of these underneath. It doesn't really afford me any protection from the wind or anything like that, but having that additional layer, similarly like you'd have with a wetsuit's designed to trap a thin layer of water between you and your suit, which your body will naturally heat up. These do exactly the same. They're not insulated, however, they will help to kind of keep an additional layer between you, whatever layer you're wearing, and then maybe your outer layer, which will also help to keep you a little bit warmer. But I will say these are both really great. I use these a lot. I probably use these a lot more than some of the other jackets that I've got, mainly, as I say, especially through the winter. I will run every morning with one of these on, and yeah, they're brilliant. Whether you pick up one of these Helikon-Tex ones, there's lots of other of these small, light, packable jackets out there, and I really do think that they're worth their weight in gold. Now, of course, I'll leave some links to these below so that you can see more from them. I'll also leave some of my social media links as well so that you can see more from me here on Moorlander EDC and my sister channel, Moorlander Tactical. But for now, as always, stay safe, stay Moorlander, and stay EDC. What are you doing? Eh? told you, Mum, you'd be cold if you came out with me. You're going to get dirty paws all over me. I'm going to look weird. Chicken! No! Hi. Where's the dog?